Ladies and gentlemen, Hard Nosed Derby Podcast. Ooh. Today's episode is sponsored by Bud Light. Oh, no, I'm just joking. We're not fags. Busch Light Peach.
Let's give it a taste test.
Nah.
Not so much. Not a lover of it.
Nah. Oh, she's rough.
Welcome back, prick.
Yeah. I had a little talk with the employers. I'm not going to miss much more of this shit.
We had an awesome trip to Stanton, Nebraska, Border Wars 2023. I got to hang out with all the Nebraska Derby live stream guys. The people up there are a different breed. Everybody was nice. I never met a dickhead. I never met a prick.
That's bullshit. There was a bunch of Missouri guys.
Well, there was, but they were really busy. Missouri wrecked.
They did.
They didn't get down in the money, which if anybody has paid attention to Stanton Border Wars, it's a team setting, but it's still individuals.
It's a weird format, but everybody seems to like it.
Yes.
Let's introduce. We got Micah sitting here with us. We're going to jump into what he's done here the last few weeks at the end of this. But he's watched most of this shit, so if you hear somebody chime in, that's who it is.
It came down to Missouri was pretty short in the order of features, cars.
Well, I don't know. It was weird. The lineup going into that. It seemed like they never had enough cars when they needed.
I mean, they had, I believe, 15.
Yeah, but there's strength in numbers. We've talked about this. And it looked like to me that they were wearing a fucking target from the flag drop.
Yeah. Iowa went into the feature with 13. Minnesota went in with 9. Missouri went in with 5. Nebraska went in with 1. Only actually had 3 of the 5 were fixable and actually pulled into, and that was Junior, Aaron, and Caden Eddy.
Yep.
Which
nobody expected any less from those dudes. I mean, they went and did what Eddies do.
Junior was in a caddy.
Which was a little out of...
Correct. I did get to actually sit down with him before they went out on Friday. It's something he's never ran. He's ran old Iron GMs, back in the day.
Right.
But they all go to the Ford stuff.
They do seem to gravitate more towards that new style shit.
Yep. And Junior just said, I've been derbying for a long time. He said, I've never tried one. He said, what the hell, I'm going to try it. He said, everybody tells me how hard they are. He had normal caddy issues. It didn't roll up the way he wanted it to, and he got cleared and it went down. And but it looked great for the feature. But then I'm pretty sure he got knocked smooth out by a quarter panel that came through the door, and it was inadvertent. Junior never even saw it coming, and it happened right in front of us. The Iowa car, the quarters kind of went up and stuck out like an old 50 Chevrolet, and he was backing up to work on somebody else, and I think it just came right through the window of the huge caddy window openings.
No, they're just little bitty guys. They've got a lot of pillar and stuff in there.
Yeah, and he grabbed his head, and we got the official's attention, and he never moved. I mean, he had his hands on his helmet, and he sit there. He said, and I watched his arms drop, and then I watched him. It looked like he was looking down on the floorboard, but I think that's when he was
taking a nap
out.
So it's a weird place to take a nap. I mean, I've done it before, but it's not ideal. Never woke up feeling real refreshed.
Yeah, they checked on him, and he did some, head shaking, and he said, no, I'm good. And Rob Baker came over and checked on him too, and Caleb Myers was actually an official as well. Caleb was the first one to him, kind of got his attention to make,
where you at?
A little bit. Yeah.
What's your name?
Yeah, I think he had to do a little bit of soul searching to where in the fuck he was at that point in time.
I've seen fucking stars before. that real fucking flash of light, and then just...
That's usually when it's concussed, that big old flash. But I want to give
I've
it
been
up.
there before.
Give it up to Minnesota. They pulled it off.
Minnesota.
Their team was a whole lot stronger than it was last year.
Well, that shit was right. I seen the cars.
There was old irons everywhere compared to what they were last year. There was no 03s last year. There was several this year. People tried them. Once they got through the heat, all of them but one guy from Iowa, they all lost steering. So they went back and they fixed them. They did what they had to do. But what it looked like is they maybe loosened up some front suspension.
And gave them a little bounce.
And then they never had that issue until it was
right. Until it was time to,
sky high.
Because 03s are cool until 03s are 03s. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've seen it.
Yep. Bryce Lanou pulled it out. It came down to him and his teammate at the end. Bryce pulled it out. Like I said, congrats to Minnesota.
Which they've got to be running out of places to put fucking trophies.
Minnesota guys, they come.
Which Bryce and them, it's not like they've got any cars stashed up or nothing.
No. But thanks to the Nebraska Derby live stream, those dudes are cool as shit. They put on a great show.
Let's talk a little bit about that. You got to set up there in the fucking spotlight.
Yeah, not really.
Motherfucker, I was watching on TV.
Check all egos at the door, and I'm being dead serious. You get up there and they treat you like a rock star. From the people to the workers at the track, anybody.
Well, I mean, we are kind of a big fucking deal.
No, those dudes, Trent and AJ and Cody and Derek, Trent's brother, Derek Bosler, and then Full Contact TV's Derek Court was there. He made a trip up from New Mexico, and it was it's like I'd known them guys forever. We just sit there and we bullshit. And
how many times have we been through this, though? This happens everywhere we go. I mean, it's something about the Derby community that does that.
Yep.
Because it's all open arms, and especially if you're trying to benefit the sport in any way, trying to get information out or anything like that. Everybody is so supportive of everything that's going on inside the Derby world itself.
Yes. We took merchandise with us.
I got to see that on TV as well.
There was more merchandise sold while we were in Nebraska than all of it that has been shipped out. Them guys just jumped on and
Why the fuck wouldn't you want a 4-in-1 koozie?
Correct.
Or a tumbler?
Everybody you can put soda waters in it.
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't put this shit in it.
Not so much these soda waters. These motherfuckers are not real peachy, in my opinion.
No, they're peachy as fuck. They're just not.
It's like that trap practice can we uses.
Yeah, that's some of that target practice action there, I think.
Well, no, fuck you. You should have seen what I gave for them. I'm going to keep drinking these motherfuckers. Oh,
Boss lady wants to try it.
Well,
she does love peach, so let's see what she says.
that face did not look promising.
Bush Light.
So how's that Bush Light pizza down there, boss?
This must have been another marketing fuck
The
up.
fact that I don't like Bush Light overrides the fact that I love peach.
As long as my dick doesn't fall off after I drink this shit. I mean, Anheuser-Busch is not knocking it out of the park.
No,
right
they're
now.
not. They're getting knocked out of the park.
Next time we're gonna see Steve, he's gonna have a high-pitched voice and his beard.
So
I'm going to leave the beard.
I went to Stanton, had a killer time. Already working on going back next year. We've kind of talked about it a little bit. We haven't worked out the details. You're not going to be working next year for that weekend, so you're going to take that
100 fucking percent.
6.5 hour drive up there as well.
Well, this podcast is blowing up so much, we'll just take our helicopter.
I'll ship one of them right out. Pecatonica. Midwest Massacre.
Dude, that shit got turned up.
Colt Doyle did Colt Doyle stuff. Parked on some dude's
Yeah. Fuck yes, he did. Here's where I'm going to start this, and I haven't got to talk to you about it, so we're going to do this conversation right the fuck here.
Okay.
It looked like all the Missouri boys went out there with one goal and one goal only, and that was to advance via Mad Dog.
Yep.
And it wasn't just one of them that we seen do it.
No.
We seen every one of the dudes that are from around here go out there and try to Mad Dog through the fucking heat. Because it was a guarantee.
Yeah.
Whether the time ran out or not, you were guaranteed motherfucking teed advancement through a Mad Dog.
Correct.
And if you were a good boy and you got your extra plates before you went out, why the fuck not try it?
Correct.
Because I think that, I don't know that did all of them put their plates on before they went out, or did they save the extra for after the heat?
I think Teddy ran the first heat and he got Mad Dog out of the first heat.
Yes, he did.
And I think he probably had to throw every plate.
12 of them shits, I think, is what I think that's what I seen. I think he put 12 of them shits on there.
I think he had to put every piece that he had.
But that fucking car bent right.
It bent in a normal Lincoln.
Yeah, I mean, it fucking straight up.
Yep.
It didn't look like it pushed one way or the other. It might have on the passenger side a little bit. But it looked like that bitch rocked straight up.
But that just goes to show you, that's a new style against a whole shitload of old iron.
Yeah, but he was bending fucking GMs.
He was bending, yeah.
I watched it happen.
Yeah, he was bending shit.
That shit was, yeah.
You know, so when you go to a spot like that and first heat right out off the rip, Teddy gets Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Rob was in heat 3.
Yep.
And
Mad Dog.
Rob got Mad Dog. Trey got in the top 3
Yep.
because I think Mr. PJ got the Mad Dog.
Yes.
Colton Case Doyle, shit happened in the heat.
Yeah.
They went through the Concy,
Which,
got through it there.
yeah. Yeah. Which, who didn't, I mean, you kind of knew they was going to end up in the feature. I mean,
If they didn't get a Mad Dog in the heat, they was
Right.
going to get it in the Concy.
Yeah.
You know,
that was a fucking killer show, though. I watched it. Them guys, they're I know that there's a lot of chaos behind the scene, but they don't show it up front.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whenever you're outside looking in on that, it looks like a well-oiled fucking machine, and everything just rolls how it's supposed to.
you know, they had 250 cars signed up and pre-registered and paid. And I think, if I counted correctly, only about 68 of them showed up. Life happens.
Yeah.
You know, didn't get their shit finished
Glad I've never done anything like that.
ever.
You know, one thing that surrounded Pecatonica was there's quite a few people upset about the 20-minute time limit when Sam announced that. But you know, when you watch them, there weren't many heats. There's only one heat that actually hit the 20 minutes.
Was there?
Some of them still had 12 or 13 minutes. They were 6 or 7 minute heats. So I don't think the 20-minute time limit was as big of a deal as
Everybody
they
was saying that
made
thing.
it.
Everybody was making a big fucking deal about that. And we had talked, whenever we talked to Sam, a lot of those heats don't last that long.
8 or 10 minutes.
Yes.
Right.
So putting a 20-minute
It's just
shot clock on it,
all it did was it was more motivation to do what they were already doing.
Well, and at the end of the day, it goes down to the same thing Metal Mayhem had the issue with, was the city says you're done at this time, we don't care where you're at.
correct.
And you run into them time restraints.
But when you go with the caliber of drivers are there, they're going to do what they're going to do. And okay, I've got a 20-minute time limit. We just hit it. Not very many of them take 20 minutes.
Never.
I mean, there was 5 features at Peoria, at Whiskey City, and maybe one was even close
Yeah.
to if you put a 20-minute shot clock on it. But you get those guys out there, and you're going to have the Mad Dogs in those heats. You're going to have the Mad Dogs in those consies. You're going to have... There's really was no sandbagging anything that I saw.
Well, and
Because when
another-
you get enough of those Mad Dogs in there, they make those sandbaggers drive a little bit harder. Use up their shit a little bit more. Have to think about what they're doing. You
Well,
know,
it's
Bob Whitaker doing Bob Whitaker shit, you know.
Yes.
But it's in reverse the whole time, but it's going fast.
Yeah. Well, and he had to.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they made him drive different than he normally drives.
Yeah. And the thing that I liked was there wasn't a guaranteed Mad Dog. If you didn't get out there and drive, you didn't have to give a Mad Dog in that heat.
Nope.
And there's one time where he almost didn't. One of the heats, I think maybe he.
It was probably the one that
Or-
fucking PJ was in.
Well,
He's already kicking you in the dick anyways. I just haven't told you why.
Uh-oh.
We might have a guest next weekend. But yeah, I got kind of an ass raping for not covering Midwest Massacre.
I know. I
quite
already got
yet.
it too. He was like, "Where the fuck's the Peck episode?" And I'm like, "It's coming." He's like, "Well, fuck."
But, Dusty Gillis.
Yeah, I mean, well, what was cool about Peck is we got to see some names that we know
Yes.
that are different than what we see.
right.
Yeah, Dusty won it. I think Eric Blom qualified.
Yep.
I mean, Dusty Gilgis, he won it. Eric Blom and Ryan Dillo. So they got their spots, and Gemini Strelo. Those are the 4 that went through from Peck directly to Gold Rush. They got their golden ticket.
So who did they award overall Mad Dog at Peck?
The Gemini.
Okay.
Strelo, Car 72, got the Mad Dog. So I'd say he was probably in the running during the heat or however he had to get through. And then he got it solidified, out of the feature.
And I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere that Rob Hewer was actually in the overall Mad Dog running until he had the mechanical failure.
Right.
That's that stupid shit.
Yeah, we see it all the time.
There was a
Shit
lot
happens.
of stupid shit at Stanton. There was a lot at Pecatonica. Missouri had a lot of even 5-speed shuffling it, having problems with shifters, transmission cases breaking, and not everybody takes backup, there. It's just that shit we always talk about, how it just pisses you off because that's just something that you're not expecting. But I will say I did not see a GHE transmission have any issues at Stanton. And they were working the piss out of it.
Who was using one? Can we talk about Junior's wagon for a second?
Jarek's wagon?
Or Jarek's wagon?
Jarek's wagon, yeah.
I've never saw a frame rail shorten 2 feet. Not in an old iron GM.
I mean, wow.
And was going to fix it.
What's crazy, them dudes don't give a fuck about nothing. It's great to me because I guarantee you them dudes were still as humble
Oh, yeah.
and didn't give a shit after they junked their stuff as they would have if they had won. I mean,
Yep.
With Border Wars, the camera, they were on point. That end camera just got
you're fucking
everything.
I didn't miss shit that you
Right.
were talking about.
That camera was amazing. So as I'm watching it, Tommy and Jarek were both in the wagons in the heat, and Tommy lost steering early. I think he broke a tie rod or a ball joint or something. But Jarek ends up the camera, up the track. And all of a sudden he comes back down. I'm like, what the hell happened to that wagon? That thing was all sorts of mangled.
I think that was compliments of Minnesota and Iowa pretty much all at the same
Minnesota.
time.
Sorry.
I will give them. The guys got to the Consi. That could make it through to the Consi. Tommy Stark did T Stark shit. It had been forever since he'd been in a wagon. And they were getting rowdy, so he went to one end and he just started feeding the ass of this thing.
Does that surprise you?
No, it didn't, because he told me he was going to do it. But I sit here and I told these guys, what they're watching on video doesn't justify actually how fast that they were actually going.
And I understand that because I was kind of surprised at the lack of cars that made it to the Concy.
Well, there was some fucking junk made out there.
I promise.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
The Mopars didn't do too bad now. We want to talk about that.
Which Mopars?
Well, that Mopar wagon.
But that's GOMAT, dude. I mean, that's a.
What the fuck? Hold on now.
But no,
We're taking away from the fucking car now?
No, I'm not. I'm not at
Who
all.
fucking built it?
But he knows how to build them.
Yes, he
and
does.
He fucking for damn sure knows how to drive them.
That bitch was doing stuff.
The car is still looked really good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking something stupid happened.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened.
I'm just telling you that he was using that fucking wagon like a GM wagon.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching him do it.
Years ago, in the early 2000s, I built a shocker wagon, and I took it to P Hill, and I got out of my heat. This is back when heats were actually a thing. And I walked back into to the trailer where everybody's staying watching the Derby, and I didn't have much work to do. And somebody said, "You're an idiot." I said, "Why?" They said, "You're supposed to drive that thing backwards, not forwards." I said, "Why?" They said, "You don't take a round back and drive them forwards." I said, "That's a Mopar.
Correct.
They're junk in the ass. You drive them forward." So, you know what? Curiosity killed the cat, got out in the feature, and I drove it backwards. And they are, with the leaves done the right way and down tubes, they're fairly decent in
That
that end.
motherfucker was, it worked.
Yeah, he was
It did
doing
work,
shit.
and it worked for him, too.
I think Cody Pete took his in the 448 class.
Yeah, he fucked shit up.
Bumper delete kit.
Wow.
That is one of the first wagons I've ever seen with a pointy on the ass, and it made it 2 hits before the pointy was on the ground. And we were trying to get Cody's attention. He was looking right at us. And Derek Court was sitting next to me, and Derek was pointing towards his back. And Cody was like, "What?" He was like, "You don't got a fucking bumper." And he whooped it around and, was working.
He sent me a video of the front frame horns on that, and I was like, hashtag Mopar problems, because everything that happened on that bitch was A-arms forward trash.
Yeah, the sub was actually hanging down on the
Yeah,
other side.
130%.
Yeah.
It accordioned the front of it. It looked like you had a fucking accordion wadded up.
But the cool part is, now he can, if he wants, if the ass end is still good, he can take that sub out and put a new one in it
Yeah.
and roll on.
Like an
that
M sub?
Yes, that's what it needs.
Absolutely.
But
All right, well, that's PEC, that's Border Wars.
congratulations to everybody who made it through at Pecatonica. Gold Rush, golden ticket. If you like little Timmy, with your chocolate bar from Willy Wonka.
Run home, run home.
Come on, Grandpa, we're going. We had some local stuff.
We did.
We had 2.
So let's start with P Hill.
P Hill. Southern number 9
Yep.
Memorial Tour. The second stop of that, Austin Johnson at the Pike County Fair Show.
Yep, 66 cars?
Roughly in there. I think he had
66, 70 cars, whatever. We'll call it 70.
right in there.
Good show.
Brought some Missouri money back home.
They did,
They
dude.
did.
Lil Petrowski
Low John and Brady,
and Brady.
first and second, and then Noah Lynch, one
Yep.
of the other East Pike boys, got third, and then of course the Dominator Award went to Clayton.
And see, I don't know how, because I watched that. I mean, he wasn't driving that hard.
Did you get the Snapchat?
You know what?
Did you
I
get
would
the
be
Snapchat?
surprised to see who can actually hit a pedal, Clayton or PJ.
Yeah, no shit. They both got screws in the bottom of them.
Which
other
we were at
articles
Clayton's
of news.
yesterday, picking up a bumper. There's a bus in his driveway.
City gonna allow that?
It's sitting somewhere. It's not stripped. It is a full bus. Somebody is taking it to the Griggsville Bus Derby in a couple weeks. So I'm not sure who's driving it, because I think Clayton's backing down a little bit for the summer.
He says that shit every year.
He does. Then he shows up.
But it looked like Miller got won the stock class or the hobo class.
Yep. Harley was doing work in his car. The Catch-22 guy with the ginormous roofs on, Rubel, he was full sending that bitch.
That car wouldn't fucking quit.
So he made a post on Facebook this morning. He sent her with no water.
Oh my!
He's having issues, and he said, "Screw it, I'm going. It's my hometown show."
He sent it.
He run quite a while with no water in it, too.
Jaden Hevner did Jaden shit. Lost steering, and I would say that the concrete wall was the part of that why he lost the steering, and then did what he did. Tony Hill, I think that was his name, or Timmy Hill, number 20, in an old iron, did what he did.
So he's Tommy's a Mopar guy through and through, and from a picture I seen, I'm not sure if that's the one he took, but he took a GM, didn't he?
Looked like it, but
I think he took a
camera views, you
74.
can't really tell.
Who's that?
Mr. Hill.
Oh.
Street stocks. Did
I think
street
there's
stocks.
7 of them.
Pork chop. Pulled that one off. We came down to pork chop, Mr. Clendenny, and Tyler Hill.
Yep.
G-Rob. I don't know what he had going on.
Shit was screaming for a minute and then just nothing.
Yep, he backed up, and
Yep.
it's something probably fucking stupid. A wire pulled out.
They
or something
fucked
like
a few of those cars. There was one car out there that wasn't posi track.
that had
and
is
no
that the one that
headers.
had no business even being out there? I think that was a Hornig from up around Keokuk.
Yeah.
I think he was probably just way overbuilt for the hobo class, and they said, well, if you pulled this far, you can step up. But
Ugh.
once he lost a bumper, he thought it'd probably be a better idea to
He was smart.
break her
That was
off
fucking smart.
and save it for another day. But overall, man, the last 2 years at Plesant Hill, or just last year, we're used to so many cars. I mean, they only had 80, I think they had 83 or 85 last year, their first show. And then, of course, the September show was ginormous.
But man, we've talked about it. This is the year of the big show. Mm-hmm. That's where everybody's at.
They had Carlinville going on right up the road
Well, there's
yesterday,
fucking
too.
derbies all over.
Yes.
Everywhere. You run into this shit all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of sucky when we're sitting here talking about a 70-car derby being small.
Well,
That's the fucked up part. And it's not small.
No.
But it's just smaller than what they had last year. But,
Because Union had a bad motherfucking derby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They had 77 cars or some shit.
On Friday night.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this. Every city or town,
Which I don't know if you caught any videos of that Union Derby.
I got a few Snapchats.
They were turning up.
Was they?
Oh yeah. Greg went down there, I think, and pulled a fourth out.
Out of 30, something like
Yeah.
that.
Which
30
nobody's ever
cars.
said that Greg couldn't drive.
No. Nope. And I think that the boy has done a lot of homework.
Yes.
Because
Fuck
I'm telling you
yes.
right now, we give Lil John shit.
All the
we
time.
do.
I enjoy it.
But he can fucking drive. And I think he really
He
showed that
proves the
last
shit.
night.
And I mean, he can build a fucking car too.
Even though it is a fucking Camry.
I ain't saying shit because I don't know anything about those gay little fucking things, but whatever.
But that wasn't the only local show.
Well, no. Yeah, and that's, we've got a guy that brought home a little hardware from there last night.
Yep.
Our brothers to the south.
South.
Yep.
Little south, not horrible south.
Eldon.
Yeah.
Lucky Sevens.
Yep.
Micah, you want to take the reins on this one?
Well,
'Cause this was
Micah has,
sponsored by-
yes, JM Derby products. Micah
Yes.
jumped on board with them guys.
I jumped on board.
You were smart.
We were having all the issues with rules, which we've hit on every other week.
Why are some of the rules dumb around here? I hadn't heard.
No, let's just put it out here. Some of the rules are a little fucked.
So I like street stock. So I approached a couple people, and one of them was the Woods. And I said, "Hey, what do you think about street stock?" "Yeah, I think we're gonna go stock." I said, "Well, you really need street stock." Well, anyway, I said, "Listen, I'll sponsor it. Let's ramp it up. Let's do something with it. Let's make it a go." A couple conversations later, here we are. I'll just get to the best story, the best part of the whole night. I did a podcast with Crash It,
Crashed it.
and we talked about it a couple months ago, and I said in the podcast, I said, you know what, I'm going to give out these bumpers and this cradle and this rear end brace, and I'm going to give out all this, and I'm going to help sponsor the Derby, and let's make street stock great again in Central Missouri where everybody got rid of it. And I said, the one thing is, I'm going to be pissed if they get Mad Dog on my car. Last night was a horrible, sloppy mess. It just downpoured for about 10 minutes. They scraped track 4 or 5 times, did it no justice. Couldn't move around the best, but you could get a little bit of traction. I hit a car and kind of move, and all of a sudden, I don't know, I seen the whole entire track in about a quarter of a second. And I look behind me, and there's a guy smiling on my ass end. And he backs up a little bit, and I go to move, and I can't move. And I look out the back, and my nice, beautiful ass end was not so pretty anymore.
Not so pretty anymore.
So, I can't move. I can move like 6 inches forward, 6 inches backwards, maybe not even 6 inches. There's only 3 of us down there. Me, Rob, and Eddie versus the world. So, they're at the other end of the track. I'm about to brake. And here come Rob and Eddie to my end. So I'm hanging out the window. This guy's got smoke rolling everywhere. He's not coming in at me again. And I'm like, come hit me, come hit me. Well, they've got tunnel vision. Finally, I'm like, you know what? One last effort. And I just let that motor eat. Well, come to find out, not only when he spun me all the way, he threw me up on the wall. So I'm stuck on the concrete block. Well, I let her eat, and I buried down enough just to get enough dirt, and I pulled myself off. I just knew I got hit. I knew it was a pretty good hit. I felt it. After the Derby, we're all walking around, and one of the officials comes up, and he's like, "Man, that's a hell of a hit you took." I'm like, "No, I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. Nothing." He said, "Oh, it was all of a full track hit." So I talked to him, and I'm like, "Hey, asshole, you're not supposed to get Mad Dog on me."
Correct.
He's like, "I lost my bumper. You were there. I sent it." Yep.
It was go time.
And he's in an 09, and it was still fairly straight. He's got a little bit of work to do, but I mean, it's definitely runnable again. It's a hard goal, I can tell you that.
So you were quick. You got them talked, and we had conversed with the Woods, and we thought that was amazing that they were taking that and running with it, because they were allowing Border Wars cars too.
Yeah.
But you couldn't do both. If you're a Whiskey City car, you had to come with Whiskey City rules.
So the way Tommy did it yesterday, and I'm gonna tell you this, Tommy gave a hell of a fair tech. What Tommy did was he downloaded both sets of rules, Border Wars and Whiskey, and then he would kind of pick a general rule and go with it. But if you were allowed 8 plates at this show and 6 plates at this show, but 10-inch bumper bracket at this one and 14 at this one, he wasn't allowing you to have both.
Correct.
So he was given a good shake, and I'll give him that. He did good.
Well, we went into that too, because
he kept 3 cars loaded.
We were letting P Hill cars run with us, and Austin's rules were a little different on the tilting aspect of it.
Yeah.
If you cut and tilted, you didn't get any seam weld.
Correct.
If you cold bent, they were letting them have the rest of it in seam weld. And we run into that issue because we didn't allow any seam welding. So we blended them up and fixed it and made it work, and that's totally doable, especially in a fair show setting.
Right, and in
That's when
today's
people are, these rule Nazis. I'm not saying that you don't need to stick to your rules. Don't take it that way at all. I think there's a flex in all of it in the fair setting. I mean, I'm not saying that,
Go load 10 fucking cars and those 10 have the exact same thing done.
all right,
well,
That makes it a little bit different.
now let's go to sturgeon for a minute. There was a huge discrepancy there where
that was a blatant disregard for a set of rules they told everybody they were going to fucking follow. I don't give a fuck. Be mad at me, Michael Huff. I'm sorry that this is nothing personal. It was the reason I was giving everybody so much shit about that is because of how adamant they were about this is what the fuck we're
hold on,
doing.
Are you talking about sturgeon or are you talking about Higby?
Or Higby. I guess Higby.
No, I'm talking about sturgeon.
Okay.
So when the compacts came, and there was a little bit of issue, and I've only caught the backstory behind this. I wasn't right there, but the Tex wanted to load every mod compact over some weld. I don't
And
know
I'll
what
say
it
it
is,
again, like
but
them
you can't do
motherfuckers have
that.
never showed up cheated. One of the cocksuckers lost a fucking bumper at our show, and you could see the goddamn pipe shoved up in the frame. You don't cheat, we can cheat
Correct.
and get pissed off whenever tech catches us, but don't you fucking try it.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, what I was getting at was, if you're all done that way, you just have to say, okay, you're all built the same. We don't like it, but run it.
Get it on.
We can't load 14
Just
cars.
Do not bring that shit back again.
And we've done that.
Yes.
But again, if that's your following and that's your cars, maybe you change a rule for that if they're all done.
Well, and that's what we did, majority rule on that shit. You know, if we,
Right.
and I'm not talking on the, like, 6 and 4 people. Like, we're not doing that. I'm not changing a fucking rule for 6 people. But whenever I had 15 guys coming at me, wanting the same shit, I'm like, okay, hold on. This isn't a you guys issue. This is a Stevens rules issue.
Correct.
We'll fix this.
Right.
But the Higby thing that I was talking about, where these people are bending rules and moving rules around, like, you cannot be dead set on what the fuck you're going to do and then not do it.
And moving forward, getting past that to today, I'll give Michael this credit. He did say, listen, shit ain't happening anymore. You're not pulling over on me. I caught a lot of hell over it, and we're just not doing it. You want it, don't bring the car, because we're not changing it
Okay,
now.
so you say that, and that is great. I fucking hope he sticks with it, but if he doesn't do it, if they're, God damn it, how do I say this without being a complete rude cocksucker? If that shit happens again, and he has a 40-car derby, and all of his big cars, except for 3, have solid wheels and pointy bumpers on them, is he going to turn them all away?
And that's going to be between him and his Jesus.
100%, that's what I'm saying. Do not, because I've done it. I have stepped on my dick so many times doing that
Sure,
shit.
and we do it because you
Well-
feel like you have to have the cars, and I think that's a big part of why he did it. But moving forward, the thing is, he came out on Facebook, he said, hey, I caught a lot of hell for allowing you guys to do what you said you had to do, and now we're going back to our rules. Don't bring your car if you're not going to be by our rules. So now he has to stick with that. And I think if he does, I think he'll be good to go. But he's got to stick with that.
It's what you.
Well,
The problem is you have allowed it,
Yep.
and word of mouth travels really fucking.
Now,
Bad gas travels really fast.
The will rule that he changed because of the situation that was supposed to be at Higby,
It was dumb.
but I understand it.
I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry, because you run your solid centers. Okay, I'm going to bring these solids. Motherfucker, okay, track's a little muddy, I'm gonna put solids on. No, you're not. No, the fuck you're not. Nobody's got a set of 700s mounted up on fucking gusseted and,
No,
I mean, not.
they're
you know,
23s.
not your fucking run-of-the-mill guys. That's not what's going on out there. I'm just telling you, nobody's calling fucking, Mavis and being like, hey, bud, I need a fucking set of internally gusseted, fucking bead-locked, 715 multi-miles.
Curb kickers.
No,
Hey, and I need that shit by Thursday.
Yeah, because the track might be a little muddy, and I might have to throw those on as my
Yeah.
spares. No, they're putting them on some fucking wagon wheels or some old goddamn Ford wheels, and they're throwing them on their car for mud. That's the ones they're taking for their fucking spares.
Correct. Yeah, that's
Ran over, I'll quit, I'm done.
Like I said, bad gas travels fast. So,
And I'm not trying
how
to
many of those
focus-
people are going to show up?
I'm not focusing on all the bad spots of that, because there was, I mean, you know, they pulled the fucking show off. Everybody said that the show itself runs
It was
smooth
good.
as fuck. I mean, it
I
was
got
great.
drunk.
You got drunk? I mean, because you can have a good show and have discrepancies. Like we used to do it all the time. I mean, hell, I was the biggest cocksucker most of the time, but everybody showed up next week. And everybody that was in the crowd was like, oh, that's great, you dumb fuck, for watering the track. Stupid piece of shit. God, why would you bring shows like this to our fucking town, you cocksucker? Like, yeah, stuff like that. It was constructive criticism.
How constructive was it?
It was deconstructive because at the end I fucking lost it. So
The deal of it is that we sit here and we cover local stuff, and then we cover big show stuff. So when we have been fed big show stuff for the last 2 months, that is what we base as just us doing the stuff. But as a consumer, as me sitting in a crowd or in the stands or doing whatever, not working, relaxing.
Rob wouldn't let that happen. Or Sam wouldn't let that happen. Or fucking,
Correct.
you know, I mean,
You put every
Tim
other
Clark
show,
wouldn't have-
yes, you put every other show under this microscope, and then you start dissecting it of what we were used to in the last 2 months.
J&B would have let it happen, but
J&B lets a lot of shit happen. I'm just going to throw that out there. But when you sit there and look behind the scenes at Whiskey City, you sit there and look behind the scenes at Spring X, Pecatonica, Border Wars.
there was discrepancies.
Yeah, that
I mean, I was
stuff
there.
is still happening at the big
100%,
shows.
they're just better at covering it the fuck up, and everybody else is too.
Yeah.
Well, and another the problem is,
And I'm using that term covered up loosely. I'm not saying that they were letting
Nobody's
cheated
trying to
shit in.
hide shit.
I'm
Correct.
just saying that it's behind closed doors.
It's not dirty laundry out there in the middle of the fucking track.
Well, and you're talking about seasoned professionals, and I mean, I will go ahead and say that they've been doing it for fucking years. They know how to handle the situation. That's a reason why I do try to give Michael Huff some credit, dude. He's new to this shit. He doesn't know. I mean,
and this year he is on his learning curve, and he's going to learn.
oh, he's gonna fucking learn.
Yeah,
He is. I mean, if he makes it after this year, if he makes it through this year without having a complete fucking meltdown, he'll be a lot better next year.
absolutely.
He needs radios.
Yes, 100%. That is one thing that you can't get through a fucking derby without. You got to have headsets.
Yep.
And an eye in the sky helps so much.
Oh, yeah. But it's a little bit different when they don't have a sky.
Right.
Or an eye.
Right.
You know, it's just hollering at each other, and hopefully you're paying attention to the official.
Because
across
I
the
can
track.
tell you those headsets fucking ruined me. I never even looked at our other officials. I was focused on what was going on the track, and somebody would chime in, and I knew whose voice it was. I'd look over there. You know, hey, we got an issue over here. Did anybody see who made that last contact? You know, well, yeah, we did, because we weren't looking at each other trying to tell somebody to steal second.
Yeah.
So, back to Lucky Sevens. I think we got off topic a little bit.
10-minute brainstorm, brain like a fucking bastard.
Yep.
Mud knee deep, which we saw all those Snapchats.
Lucky Sevens as a whole. Now, I will tell you this. I got on board with them, not knowing them at all. Never been to one of their shows. I personally was very impressed yesterday. They had their shit straight. They had their shit right.
Wasn't the dude's first show.
No, not their first show by any means. They the gates ran smooth. I didn't see long lines at the gates. Tech ran very smooth from what I've seen. I mean, they had, I don't know the official number, 80 cars probably. Figure 8, seen it for the first time. Whole different ball game. But you know,
I'm telling you, everybody's got a skewed perspective of that fucking class, that figure 8 deal. And like Michael was talking earlier, you would think it would be a bunch of dudes out there just running into each other, and it is not like that.
They are trying everything possible to not run into each other.
It's speed.
Yeah.
there is speed. It's very well put together.
The only thing that's bad about it's their fucking compact cars.
You can tell the seasoned guys compared to the newer guys. They were drifting around the tires. I mean, I'm like, damn.
Front wheel drive shit.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
Well, and I mean, you're talking built motors, fucking built cars and shit.
Yeah.
We talked to Wrigley, yeah. I mean,
And they were taking precision hits. So when you watch the top 5 guys, at any given time, it can be the guy in first go to 5th, and then a lap and a half later, he's back in first because they wait for that turn at the tire, and they'll spin you out.
Yep.
And not only will they spin you out, then they'll push you to make you go backwards. So now you got to do a big circle and take off again.
Yeah.
Like, they got that shit figured out.
Oh, yeah.
well, I got to see the actual figure 8 cars whenever I went over and run Quincy, like the V8 fucking wicked cut off looking little, Mad Max looking shit. They are insane.
That's the one thing I enjoyed when I was watching the Wicked show, was because the night before was those cars. Yeah, they had compacts too, but they had those, and I'm talking nasty fucking 355s, 358s, 406s.
fucking
I mean, screaming them with big tires, and that they were. I really enjoyed it.
Well, yeah, but you're kind of a circle jerker anyway.
Yeah, but it's a little bit different when they're not just turning left,
Two
they're turning
circles.
left and turning right,
two
and then
circles.
turning left and then turning right again. But yeah, I want to. I said it. Hell, I said it last year. I want to go watch one of them. Now we just got to try to figure out the time when to go. Micah run third in the street stocks.
He did, which is your best finish since you've been back, right?
Yeah.
did that boost the morale around the shop?
Did you keep transmission?
That's
in it?
what I was getting ready to say. I need a pat on the back because my car will move forwards and backwards today, which
because we'll
it's
fucking
new.
start.
Hypothetically, it'll move forwards and backwards.
I would say with a little fuel pump tweaking,
Right.
it'll move. He lost the fuel pump.
So, very happy with the outcome of the street stock. I think 13 cars showed up, which, again, I mean, you guys just talked about it earlier. The car count is down because everybody is so focused on
It's big show season.
Gold Rush. Everybody's focused on the big shows. Everybody's, so
I mean, you're going to start seeing Blizzard Bash cars pulled in now.
I already know. I've already been talking to guys. Some of them are
I
already
had a guy order a cradle from me yesterday that's starting his Blizzard Bash car today. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, it's there. People are doing it.
Well, you think summer, I mean, after this month, we're on the downhill side.
goddamn near July, dudes.
Yep.
Yep.
July. Fuck.
13 cars showed up. I think 10 ran. But the thing was, it was 10 quality cars.
We've talked about that before.
I'd rather have 10 bad motherfuckers than 25 not so bad ones.
Right.
Not saying those guys don't need to run.
Correct.
Not
I'm
saying
not. No,
that.
I'm not saying that. But for the show quality,
You're
I would
fucking
rather
right.
have those 10
And I've had
bad
it.
dudes.
You know, I've had 8 fucking cars show up and put on a better show than my 25 car class.
There was one guy that was there, and he came up to me. He came up to my truck sometime during the day. He says, "Hey, man." I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Are you blah, blah, blah?" Like, yep. Shook his hand. "Nice to meet you." He said, "Is that your car right there?" And I said, "Yeah, that's my whiskey car. Lost a tranny out there, cut my fingers off.
Don't say
Here we
fancy
are."
digits.
Right.
Did you
He
move that
said,
tranny cooler?
Saturday morning, I welded a shield over it. And Trey here gave me shit for it. I'm like, it's my fingers, not yours.
Correct.
So he come up to me and he says, nice to meet you. He says, listen, I'm building my street stock car for this show, but we didn't get it done. And they have a point series. He says, I'm in this car. Please don't kill me.
So he took a stock car.
Oh, he took a worse than I would. He took a bone stock car, and he needed the hits. I said, man, if I was you, I'd probably go out there and make your hit, get your points, and shut off. I didn't go look at his car, but I'm just, I'm thinking you got Tyler Ray out there. And that's one thing I will tell you. The whole night, I knew where he was at every second of the night.
Yeah, I guarantee you that.
One time, me and Eddie were at one end of the track, and Tyler spun around, and I seen that pink nose sticking out. I'm like, not today. I waited for Eddie to take off, and I got behind Eddie. I'm like, you're taking it, not me.
Which we ought to send a congrats to
Old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Rob pulled off the second, and then Mr. Eddie Chick pulled off the dub. He's damn near going like a year in spurts, isn't he? Because he started last year, his first show with the win, which he did go to Peoria, in March. But his first local show, he got the win. Speaking of Tyler, you got Snapchats too. I mean, the man got up with the sun Friday morning and went to bed with the sun Sunday morning.
Yeah, I don't know that dude got a drop of fucking sleep all weekend.
Shifter. Again, he had the shifter issue at Border Wars. It stuck it in
He ought to just leave them in there.
Instead of trying to remove him while he's running. He did send a Snapchat. He's considering getting rid of the 3-pedal life and going to some maybe a GHE.
Sometimes it be like that.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I was happy with the outcome. Me, Eddie, and Rob were the North guys that showed up, and we got fortunate and lucky enough to take first, second, and third. Everybody had issues at the end for sure. Eddie's steering fell off.
I think Rob got another tranny, didn't he?
Rob ate another tranny. And then my fuel pump just slowly deteriorated to Holly fucked me. How about that? Holly fuck. If I had 6 seconds, there's a good chance I went from third to first because
it was probably one of them Tim Clark conspiracies. Holly was like, Michael White's wanting this fucking. He's wanting this fucking.
They woke up and they said, "Hey, he just ordered this one. Let's fuck that one.
Fuck that guy."
No, they're like, oh, he finally got a tranny they'll hold up. We'll get him. Hold my beer and watch this shit. No, it was a good show. I couldn't. It was.
Your fucking car still looks killer.
It looks
straight as an arrow in the front
like
end.
Looks like a little
still
massaging
on the ass of it, dude. It's just gonna make it better.
Yeah, the with a grapple
you'll finally
bucket.
Get the goddamn bumper off the ground. With
a grapple bucket and 2.5 hours worth of work sheet and a fuel pump that's ready to go again. I'm really impressed with that Buick. It's went through 2 shows. I will tell you this, I'm more impressed about this. And this very first thing I told Jackie, I got the car out of the mud, the pit, and got it back there, and I said, Jackie. She said, what? I said, I hit somebody twice in reverse. I'm happy.
And then somebody hit you.
Yeah, and then somebody hit me. Not the same car, though.
I'm going to give it up. Mr. 18T. Mr. Jordan Tobin. Pulled off the win, and then I got a Snapchat of it hooked to the rollback this morning and was watching how far it shrunk. Because he hooked the grapple hooks up to it, and then you could watch it start pulling it out, and it moved a lot.
His bumper locked in right above his radiator there at the end, and he just made her hard.
Is this a compact car?
No comment.
If we want to keep you in this, yeah.
No, he give it up to him. I know he stepped out of the game for quite a bit. Came back in a little bit last year.
Yep.
I think he did some figure eight stuff and fairs, state fair, shit like that. But that's pretty close to home for him. And as much as you're running rollbacks and tow trucks, and
He is a tow truck driving motherfucker.
yeah.
Well, when I left, Jackie said something. She's seen the Tobin towing shirts on everywhere. When I left and I was headed down 54,
He's got that big fucking
there's like 38 different
billboards.
billboards.
That some bitch is on like 22 of them.
Yeah.
But no,
I want him just on one of those with with two thumbs up. Just he needs just Jordan on that bitch.
yeah. But no, I mean, I don't think any of the local shit really disappointed at all.
Especially weather. I mean, considering the fucking weather.
Yeah, because we didn't get any rain till last night.
No, and we still didn't get enough.
No.
Now there was supposed to have been another show last night, but got canceled.
Valley, yeah,
Green Valley?
that was CDP. Yeah, I seen that they were having mixed emotions about canceling that shit. But I think the track owner is the one that.
Because I think it's at the racetrack.
Yeah, it is.
So then they canceled it because of the
Right.
weather coming in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, we've got some local stuff coming up, like 6 blocks from my house.
I'm debating on whether to throw the plates on that bitch and get rid of it.
From what I'm hearing,
The only way I'm going to run those is if they'll let me park in the gate. I want to go to the other end. From there. Forward. You think I could show up and be like, well, I don't have reverse. I need to park here.
absolutely.
And then magically, oh, hey. Holy,
Found it.
here
Must
it
have
is.
been the linkage.
Yeah, fuck, I don't know. It moved enough that I've got reverse now.
They did cancel the hobo stock class. I did get that word
What was
because
the deal?
it was never put on the flyer.
And the flyer came out so late. Brian said,
I still haven't seen the
can't."
rules.
They posted that as earlier.
Oh, I heard it's just run what you brung.
Oh,
Cool.
so how many plates can I put on?
It's like that Whiskey City
All of them.
because it's coming out.
Yep. Suey.
How many plates? All of them.
All of them. Just put all the plates on. Bring a torch.
You are allowed a bumper bracket. Mm-hmm. 6 plates, I believe.
I think that sounds about right.
Yep.
So, I need to do some looking into that. Because I've got my bumper shock, and as well my shock.
Yes.
Should be able to for a bumper
Yep.
bracket. Because
You can hard nose it and put a bracket on, or you can weld your shock solid.
Yeah, you can't do both.
6
Cannot
plates?
do
Fuck,
both.
I can plate from the goddamn bumper to the fucking firewall on mine.
Pretty
Yeah.
damn close.
Short-nosed little bitch.
Just
I know there's one thing I can tell you is I believe it'll be a pretty decent show. I know there's a lot of cars sitting locally in garages right now waiting for next weekend.
Well, mine, I can see it.
Yeah, yours is right there
can
out the
see it.
window.
well, if you take word of mouth, there's going to be a lot of cars.
And then cut it in half.
But correct, just like he said. I got
Oh,
30
you mean you
dudes.
can't believe everybody that says they're going to show up? What?
I don't think so.
You know, I've had quite a few people in my doors the last 10 days grabbing them little bitty parts they need to finish that car up for Madison now.
Yep.
So, Madison seems like it always draws a fair amount of cars, and I think we'll probably have like what we had
It
last
does.
year.
A lot of people like the crowd more than they do the Derby there. And I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but they do. They come there to see the fucking crowd get rowdy, and they do.
Jackie was sightseeing the crowd last year. Yeah.
That's why I usually try to get up as high as I can.
Somebody gets right behind me.
That
But
way I can talk shit.
here's the thing. We do have a local show 6 blocks from my house. But you've got the T-Bone in Oskaloosa, Iowa, the Friday and the Saturday of next weekend as well. If nobody's ever been to Oskaloosa to watch that show,
I heard it's a soft show.
I don't think Steve Turlow can spell soft. I think his soft goes to stupid hard. But you're listening to 6, 7, 800 horse in mod cars, light load cars that don't fuck around, and they are flat moving.
Nasty shit.
Oh my!
So did Kunkel ever get rid of that Imperial he had? Did he end up raffling it off?
You mean that wasn't Kunkel? That was Eric Floyd. And I got told all the spots did fill, but I don't know if he raffled it.
Well, I was just wondering if that car would be there.
I think if he was, I think Eric was waiting on everybody to pay up to get paid, because there was a lot of spots that were going to have to get paid. Dude, that Imperial was beautiful.
Wicked.
It was actually like a work of art. It was first.
You know,
You like it so much, won't you, man?
I've seen it and I thought, I have the paint booth. I thought, I need to start painting my cage too. That looks badass. And then I'm like, God, the amount of work
Fuck, I
that
do
is.
good just to get my goddamn cage in. Shit. I'm over here like Micah. Hey, I need you to come over here. Well,
Hey, hanging this bitch upside down.
well, the little motherfucker can crawl all over it. Whatever he was welding my tank protector in, because I didn't know exactly which fuel cell I was running, so we put the tank protector in after we had the front of the cage in, and I'm like, there ain't no fucking way my big ass is getting over these fucking sidebars and all that bullshit, and he climbs in there and he's sitting on a bucket. I'm like, how did you get the bucket in there? Well, I'll get it welded up. He's like, I'm like, what the fuck? How? I don't understand.
Yeah. But no, I mean, there's still killer shit coming up, and Black Hills Beatdown was this weekend,
We'll cover that next week.
which we'll catch up on that a little bit. I'm hopeful. I gotta send a Snapchat as soon as we're done, because there is this one guy that we've trying to been getting on here, and I don't want to do it via phone. I don't. I told him, I said, we'll either come to you or you come to us. So maybe,
I don't know. He's wanting to kick me in the dick. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. He's about the same size as I am. I don't know if I'm...
Yeah, but I also heard he's as soft as his cars.
Well, then I'm out.
he
Unless you steal his truck.
Yeah, no shit. Oh,
the
fuck
Nest got
around.
bad news all over it.
If that kid, you think he woke up the next day and was like, oh, man. I
Why'd
shouldn't have done that.
Why'd I have to try to steal that fucker's truck?
I still think about that every once in a while. Like, it's almost a core memory now, and I giggle. Because PJ beating that ass all the way through that truck. Like, I would have almost paid to see that shit.
I got there 8 hours too late.
And then Adam making the dude hold the motherfucker so that he could Snapchat it. Like, fuck me.
Right,
man.
that was icing on the cake.
Yeah, 100%. Like, if you're not already humiliated because you unsuccessful stole a truck, got your ass beat, and then publicly humiliated on fucking Snapchat. Like, that is at that point, do you just go start a pistol? Or?
Oh God! But I did tell him. I said, "Man, I don't want yours over the phone. I want yours in person." So
He already knows that I'm going to give him so much shit. Like, I'm going to be on him the whole motherfucking time.
which that's the thing. When we get guests on, most of the time they're usually pretty funny.
Oh, yeah.
Like to bullshit, mess around anyways. But as soon as you put one of these fuckers in front of
They
them,
lock
they
up.
clam up a little
Yeah.
bit. And I told him, I said, dude, we've been doing this long enough. I said, I can weave you through the level of badassery to make all your stuff
Yeah.
easy.
We'll make you look good. It's all good. Just sit there and look pretty.
But, he had been running so hard since this year
Well,
started.
Every time I got to do this, or I got to get this car finished up, or whatever.
He told me Friday, he said, fuck this. He said, I'm not going to P Hill. I said, well, did you have anything left from Peck? He said, it needed 10 plates. He said, I can only have 8. He said, so I'm not even wasting my time.
He has been running pretty hard this year.
Building fresh ones, bringing in, and it's
How
just
you've
stripped.
slowed up from your normal. I mean, you were trying to hit a fucking derby every weekend last year at the end of the year.
Well, I had
Fucking
to.
4 cars sitting right out here.
But yeah, I know. I'm not saying that his building. I didn't say his building
Just
slowed
the
down.
running.
He
Just the running, which I think he said he's going next weekend.
yeah.
First stock, he got a stock shoved over here in the corner. Looks like he's got do a little massage into it too.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Stephen will tell you, I'm very anal. I want my car done 6 to 8 months before the Derby. The motor's just sitting there.
That is no shit. I was out here building all winter, helping and doing shit like that. And this motherfucker had started a Whiskey City car 3 different times. Three different fucking cars.
3 different cars.
Yeah.
Wasn't
3 different cars.
I'm going to take this. Well, he'd finish it and poke it off in the side. I don't think I want to take that. I'm going to take his Buick. No, I ain't going to take that Buick. I'm going to take this. Pick a fucking car. And I'm over here trying to get a stock car done.
That's when you just flip. Just flip a coin, heads or tails.
Roulette wheel in the corner, so you just spin.
I
it,
spent 3 or 4 weeks on a new style. Because
The fucking frame was in here forever.
yeah, got it done. Sitting outside, got the body ready, and I'm like,
I don't want to
yeah, I'm not taking that.
What I want to talk, here's what me and you had conversed after I got back from Nebraska. We understand there is a lot of big shows starting in March, going through June. Missouri, if you were listening, go look at R&R's rules. Make sure you get the ones from that show. And get on that team. Rep your state, and I'll say the same thing for Iowa and Nebraska. Nebraska won it the last 2 years. They only had 9 show up. They only had 1 to make the feature. Minnesota didn't have a good year last year.
But they learned from last year.
And brought a whole fucking SWAT team with them this year. Anytime you add Colton Newhofflin on there, Bryce Lanou, you were stepping up your soldiers to go to war.
You know what I seen? I believe it was Minnesota. Correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been Iowa. But what I seen that was the most impressive was they had blocker cars out there the whole time. They were putting people where they wanted them and keeping them there.
Yep.
That was very impressive.
Yes. Like I said, Iowa went in the feature with 13 cars. Minnesota only had 9.
That didn't matter, though.
It didn't matter. They did what they did. They moved. They were playing chess. And we've said this on here before. The shit wasn't checkers. It was chess. So such and such is a little bit more hurt than this car is. Hey, you get down here to this end with him, and you keep a couple of these fuckers down here. We'll go down here on the other end, and we'll
fuck
work out.
everybody
Yeah,
up.
fuck everybody up, and then we'll start working our way down. Missouri had 15, got through with sticks. It took a lot of work. Friday, a lot of cutting, a lot. One of them was a rule discrepancy because they were looking at the ones online and not the hard copies for that show. They weren't. One of the rule discrepancies was in one set, but not the other. That caused a lot of cutting, a lot.
I seen one Missouri car that didn't make it through, and he just decided to go home. How many cars didn't pass? Or did most cars pass?
You're talking about, and we're not going to. I'm not going to out him, but it was, in my opinion, a little bit of bullshit to load up and go home.
So what Rob did is Rob made it
Because there was an easy fix on that.
Yes, if you cold tilted, you got 4 plates. If you cut to tilt,
You just
only
got seam
2.
weld.
You got 2.
Oh, okay.
So all you had to do was cut 2 plates off.
So somebody had it cut to tilt and had 4. Didn't want to cut the other 2.
Well, I heard he had 2 pages of cut list. 2 full pages of cut list.
There's dudes that did a lot of cut. But if you're going there,
I don't know.
repping for your state, and you have taken 4 months to build this fucker,
Yeah.
do what you got to do to fulfill your commitment that you
yeah,
put for your team.
Well, you take like the Eddie boys, and I'm just using them for an example. They would have cut their fucking cars in half.
Correct.
Yeah, but they're a different breed.
They would have been like, all right, I got to cut the roof off of it? All right. You want me to take the whole front clip off? All right, I'll do it.
Oh,
I'm
I've
gonna
got to
run.
cut off from the core support forward.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
whatever.
It'll
Yeah.
happen. So, guys, you've got plenty of notice, man. If you are in Nebraska, if you're in Iowa, Minnesota, Missouri, get in contact with somebody, whether it's Rob or whether it's your team captain from last year, if they're from this year that are gonna do it next year. Get that shit lined up and go support your state.
I'd like to see Missouri bring that shit home.
It's 6.5 hours from us. There was guys that drove farther than us because Henry and Tyler and Tommy and those guys are.
They're Eldon. I mean,
Yeah, they're another hour and a half from us.
Well, and Minnesota's got to be further than us.
Depends on where they're at in Minnesota. I think if you get something pretty south, I don't think it's that bad of a drive. Just come down and shoot.
Well,
across, but
south, no, you're a state and a half away. Just
some motherfuckers over there from Michigan, almost to Michigan,
right.
damn near up to Canada. One class that I really liked at Border Wars was the Jacob Prusman's 448 class. It was old iron and new style. It's kind of to where our local stock, but not hobo.
Right.
And dude, that thing, that was a hell of a show.
That's what you're talking about, the one that Cody ran in, right? Well, he tried to get me to bring my car up there. And I would have. I was down. But, shit didn't work out.
But,
Whatever.
we talked on the live stream. Jacob doesn't do much vocally.
Right.
Prusman's not one of them guys that gets on a camera or podcast. He just kind of rolls behind the scenes.
What's the story there?
He had a show in, I think, Des Moines, and the people who run the facility canceled it due to impending weather. He had no control over it. So, what he did, him and Rob conversed, and they moved that class that he was going to run to Border Wars fill-in class. And I think they had 18 or 20 cars, paid several spots down, 5 or 6 spots. It wasn't huge money, but it was good, for what you got to do. And I think that's pretty much one of them classes that a lot of guys from around here would really be able to adapt to. That's some of that shit. If you can get 2 or 3 promoters to run that, then they can run their local stuff here. Then they can go up north if they want to go to Iowa or anything they want to do.
Oh, so you're talking about maybe like a unified set of rules or something?
Maybe something like that.
I've heard that before. Let's not get into the rules again. Right.
Well, you ready to knock this bitch in the head?
Yep. Like I said, I want to thank all them guys again. Like, they just took me in like family. Thanks for all the support, buying the merchandise, cups, shirts, all of it.
Yeah, maybe we can get to the next one on there on making some of that money.
Oh, I'd like to.
It'd be cool one of these days for maybe it to.
But I'm going to sit here and say, I hope the Snapchat that I'm getting ready to send gets that lined up and we can get that guest in
Yeah, 100%.
to us. But somebody's running next weekend and he wants to see if he'll ride with him.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know if your right foot's heavy enough for that.
Well, his might be over there.
He might be like, "Move your fucking foot
Right,
up."
if his foot's not over there, he's gonna be taking a cat nap and be like hanging out the window slobbering.
Yeah, his motherfucker's born.
Yeah. So,
All right.
Micah, appreciate you, man. Let us
Thank you.
come hang out, filling us in on some Lucky 7 shit.
Still
Really
like this
good
bar.
show. Do? Yep. You got any last words?
Nope.
Make junk, boys.